Fable squad. Right, I wanted to just drop this today. I know I'm busy with the UK spitters. I'm doing a whole bunch of things on the UK spitter side. I'm trying to edit them in a certain way. So guys, bear with me. I'm only dropping the Akala one today, but we will continue throughout the week. I'll keep on dropping more. I'll also put out a community post about that. Dax, Book of Revelations, you know what it is, you know how it is. Everyone else has reacted to this. I haven't yet, so let's see what he's got. He said on his Instagram, he's brilliant at promoting himself. I've told you this before, he's a marketing genius. And he's saying the song is about making an impact. So, Dear God was that kind of track, and it was a phenomenal track. Let's see what he's got over here. Let's go. Where will I spend eternity? I'll spend it in the gap. I'll explain to you what the gap is just now.
These pills are meant to help you sleep, but always keep me wide awake.
I can't sleep. I keep thinking about this. What if, with everything that's going on, the world really is coming to an end? Then what?
Dax and his videos are just getting fucking better. My lord, this guy must be spending a fortune. I mean, the detail in his videos is just getting better and better and better. Shout out to you, Dax. It's brilliant stuff. Let's go.
Then what? What if it isn't a lie? What if we make it to heaven and don't get inside? What if we get to the gates and see God on the other side, and he looks us in our face and says our whole lives we've wasted time? What if we can't?
Our whole lives we've wasted time. So I like the fact that he posed all these questions. Like I feel Dax is getting a lot more philosophical about with his music, which I think is awesome. You know what I mean? Because good artists, are supposed to spark discussions. You know what I mean? And I love that. But I personally believe that life isn't a waste of time, because it's not about the score at the end. The Japanese have a great thing, and might be a long reaction. The Japanese have a great thing where they spend months and months and months making this artwork on the floor with rice. They actually have it's like a little tool where it's actually with the I don't know how to explain it, but basically they make these rice pictures on floors. But it takes them months, and they work on it consistently, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, right? But when they complete it, the minute they have finished putting that last grain of rice, they come and immediately sweep it up. No pictures, no nothing, right? All that beauty, all that time spent, swept up. And the reason, and the story and the moral behind that is that life isn't about the end result. It's about the journey. It's about how you feel and what you do while doing it. The end result should never matter. So there should never be a scorecard at the end. What you do right now is what matters. How are you touching other people? How are you making a difference to other people? And when you get to heaven's gate, it doesn't matter what your scorecard is. It's not about that. Let's go.
Can't go back. What if we can't redo this life and get one second chance? What if our future happiness is memories of our past?
What if our future happiness is memories of our past? Oh God, I like
burn forever, haunted by the devil's laughs. Why do we push them away? And why do the ones we work to keep never actually stay? Why do we focus on tomorrow and forget about today and smile?
The ones that we work so hard for never stay. I'll tell you why they don't, because life is precious. And if I had to give any human being, if I had to come to a human being and say, right, I'm God, I'm going to give you 100,000 years to live. 100,000 in eternity. I'm giving you eternal life. Right? Go ahead and live. Your life will, in that instance, will have no value. In that instance, your life will lose all of its value. The reason why life is so precious is because it's short. The shortness of life, and the fact that you don't know when it's going to end is what gives your life that much value. That's what gives meaning to every single thing you do. Because if you had all the time in the world, what's the rush?
Smiling at everybody's face and try and act like we're okay. Why do we live this way? Why do we hate? Why do we fight? Why do we act like there's time and got more than one life? Why? Answer me. Why?
It's an amazing question, but I also believe that everything has its purpose. You know what I mean? Like left has a right, right has, left has a right, up has a down, top has a bottom. Everything sort of needs balance. How do we learn to be good people? How do we learn humanity, right? If there is no evil. The greatest acts of humanity come from the greatest acts of evil. Not that it's right, but that's the crux of how humanity works.
Why? 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 I'm older and looking for truth. I'm holding my faith in my hand, but the pain in this world has been shaking it loose. I used to
Holding the pain in my hand, but the pain in this world is shaking it loose. Oh my Lord.
have so much to gain. Now I have so much to lose. They say I'm crazy for looking for answers. I say they're crazy for not getting proof. Vision is blurred. I'm over concerned.
Crazy for looking for answers, but they say I'm crazy for not looking for the truth. Some things can't be answered, right? And some things you need to live in the question, and it's okay to live in the question. You're not going to answer if there's a God. You're not going to answer if science is intertwined with God, like Einstein believed. Einstein was a scientist, and he said the more he studied science, the more he grew deeper in the education of science, right? And in the research, he said the more he started believing more and more that the science and a higher power has to be intertwined, because it gets so complex that he says it cannot be by chance. It can't be by chance. And if you just look at there's a theory like a 52 card theory. I give you 52 cards and I say you got one chance, right? And I'm not saying you don't have to believe me, but I'm saying I take a 52 card deck and I give you one chance. It's 1 in 52. And I say pull the Queen of Hearts. You've got one chance. That's one chance, 1 in 52. If you pull the Queen of Hearts, everything as we know it exists. If you don't, everything as we know it doesn't. 1 in 52 chances. The likelihood, everything as we know is not going to exist. Imagine that. Imagine the odds of 1 in a trillion or billions, like the Big Bang theory is. Imagine the chances of that. And that's why Einstein believed things are more intertwined. He believed that there has to be something greater. Not a God or in the way people believe in the Bible, but something. There has to be something greater. There has to be a higher power that created this. It's too complex, it's too perfect.
I'm looking to God to see if life with him is something I've earned. The devil's been watching, he's trying to recruit, he's been waiting at every turn.
Look at other people to see if your life is what you've earned. Look at what you've done to other people. If you've made a difference in their life, you've earned it. You've earned your life, you've earned your purpose.
I'm driving this life on the highway to hell, but I won't burn! Fuck! We know the difference. We know what is wrong and we know what is right. But Satan is strong, God, and most of your people are losing the fight. So what if we fail? What if we can't escape his lies? What if we can't change? What if he still controls our minds? Where do we run? Where do we go? Who do we talk to? We look around and everyone we see is lost too. What if life is just some test that we all do? What if you were busy when we called you?
It is 100% a test that we all do. It's 100% a test that we all do, but the problem is, like I told you, instead of people living in the question, people are looking for the answers. So maybe just live in the question for a bit. Just accept that life is beautiful. Why are we here? I don't know. I'll take it day by day, and day by day that you can feel the question. When you do something for people, when you get to a robot and you give somebody money, or when you do a great act for somebody who's actually struggling and they need a helping hand, there's no answers to why you did that. It's purely because something in here tells you it feels good. Something in here tells you that's right. You don't need a Bible to be a good person. Just be a good person.
Where are your parents?
I'm tired.
Come on, let's go. I got you.
His videos are fantastic, man. He's becoming a storyteller.
What if hell's on earth? What if being born is dying and dying's birth? Would that mean life's not God's?
What if being born is dying and dying is birth? That is a sick question. That is a sick line. So here's my thing. Why it is so important to live is because the misconception is that when you're born, when people say, you've got your whole life ahead of you because you're one. No, it's wrong. It's the other way around. The reason why you need to live a life is because the day you're born, you're busy dying. And that's why it's so important to live life. Because people look at it as like, oh no, you got your whole life ahead of you, you've just been born. No, the clock's ticking. The moment you come out of that, the moment you are born, you are busy dying. The clock is ticking. You're not busy living, you're busy dying. And that's why you need to appreciate life.
Gift, but the devil's curse. And to live was to be evil because its words reversed. What if the devil entered a pastor and he led a church? What if we looked for the truth but didn't know where to search?
What if the devil entered a pastor and he ran a church? Many devils have entered many pastors that have ran many churches. You know what I mean? So that's, I don't like the idea of cloaking the church and cloaking pastors and cloaking cardinals and cloaking popes and things like that as the good people purely because of the church. They have committed some serious crimes. So yes, the devil has done that. The devil has committed those crimes. The devil has entered the church and has entered pastors. So that's not even what if, that's happened. You know what I mean? But again, good people prevail. We need to take the cloaks off people. People are people. Just because they're in the church doesn't mean that they're good people. Just because they can run a sermon doesn't mean that they're good people. You can go and research this. It goes back as long as time.
What if the books they said to read have never been your words? What if we chose to follow you, but we still had that urge? Will you forgive us for our sins and let us in your world? God, we at the gates. We couldn't see, hear, or touch you, but we had faith. We know we messed up, we human, and we make mistakes. So we just begging we get in and that you'll have grace. God, what if we didn't mean it? What if the place we grew up forgot to teach us? What if we never even got the chance to go and seek it? Then what? Then what? Dear family, we're in scary times. Nobody has the answers. Just make sure you spread love and believe. My name is Dex.
I really like where Dax is going with his music. Genuinely, I really like where he's going with his music. He's becoming more of a storyteller. You know what I mean? He's becoming more of a real MC. And I've just finished doing a Carla from the UK. And even if you're from the US, please, for the love of God, go watch a Carla. Please go watch a Carla. Because those are people that you should be listening to. Those are storytellers. And I feel like Dax is becoming a storyteller, which I think is awesome. And the fact that he's bringing philosophy into it has got my heart, because I'm willing to have discussions like this all the time. Now, as for where will I spend eternity, and I said in the gap, here's my belief, right? You don't have to take it, that's just my own belief, right? I just believe that everything in this world is energy, positive and negative energy, right? I don't believe in a God per se, but I do believe in a higher power of some sort, a higher force, a higher being, a higher power, not a being, but a higher power of some sort that has created all of this. right? But I believe that every single soul holds a purpose. Every soul in the universe is we are energy. Our souls are energy, and it holds a purpose, right? And just like there is a left, there has to be a right if there is a left. There has to be an up if there is a down. There has to be a top if there is a bottom. There always needs to be an equilibrium. There needs to be a balance. You cannot have one thing without the other. You can't have the top of a table without a bottom of a table, or else the table wouldn't exist. So for me, how I believe is you've got the earth and there is the parallel of this earth, which meet, right? So if you take two circles and you draw them close together, they cross each other, right? And in that gap of those two circles, I say is the gap. I call that the gap. And I say that's where souls come in. So souls are traveling around as energy in the universe, right? Waiting to have their moment in the gap. And then the souls come into that gap to bring their purpose to the world. And that's why I feel that purpose is important. Because even if you die, I believe you go back and you become energy again. And then you wait for that gap again. And when the world needs that purpose, you enter it, right? And that's the equilibrium of life, how I see it. I know it might seem as a bit of a fairy tale and a bit of whatever else, but like I said, every single religion in the world, no religion in the world, the best religion in the world is whatever you believe in, whatever gives you comfort, right? That's the purpose of it. It's what gives you comfort. And if you believe in anything that can give you comfort of where you're going and how you're going and what you do in your everyday life, believe in it as long as it doesn't affect other people. Alright? That's what I believe in. I'm a bit of a dreamer at the end of the day, and I'm a bit of a creative, and I like to believe that that story is correct. And I'm not saying correct, I like to believe that that story would be true. Not to say that it is, but I'd like to believe that it is true, right? Because at the end of the day, I believe that people have a purpose and they are here for a purpose. It's just when they come in is based on when the world needs them. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Have a super awesome day. Peace.